Hey there. So, I want to talk a little bit today about the lessons that I've learned while going to online networking. Lesson number one, I thought that online networking would be something that we were only going to do for a really short time and then go back to normal. I was wrong. So, if you recall, we went to online networking to comply with the shutdown orders and keep everyone safe as COVID um, became a huge frenzy and the economy was shut down. I really thought that, especially here in El Paso, I really thought that we would be dealing with the COVID situation until it got warm, and COVID was going to act a whole lot like the flu, and we would be back to in-person meetings by June or July at the latest. We're still online. COVID is still around, so I could not have been more monumentally wrong. So the realization there is that, yeah, this whole pandemic and networking online was not a sprint. It is a marathon. And so it requires a shift in mindset. Lesson number two, I thought uh, networking online would be easier. Boy, was that wrong. It is a heck of a lot more convenient, right? There's no driving. You don't have to arrive early, a couple minutes early. You don't have to stay late. The minute that sucker's over, you can completely disengage. And you can move on to another meeting almost immediately, within minutes. Again, because there's no drive time. So there's certainly a convenience factor. What I didn't take into account is how much harder it would be to um, keep myself from getting distracted, right? How much harder it would be to keep my credibility as high as I possibly could, because perception is reality. So you can't turn your camera off because it looks like you're not paying attention. You've got to have your camera on. It's really easy to read your email because you're in front of your computer already, or any of the other 10,000 distractions, right? It's really easy to uh, look at your whatever, QuickBooks, or check out your invoices. It's very, very easy to fall into the whole I can multitask mindset, right? The truth is that you go to your BNI meeting and you have to be 100% present, and it's exhausting. You have to, um, again, pay extra close attention to what people are saying. There are a multitude of opportunities out there for each and every one of us, in spite of what's happening, or maybe because of what's happening. Both, maybe both. But you've got to be willing to listen. How many of you are truly listening at your BNI meeting? It's hard. It's hard. I will be the first to admit that it's super easy to check out. I will go to a chapter meeting to visit and easily miss what two, three, five members are asking for whatever reason. My phone rang. Oh, I didn't pick it up, but it rang, so I was distracted. My email dinged. I got an email. I may not have looked at it, but it was enough to distract me for a sec. How can you combat that? There's a couple of things that you can do. First one, which sounds really silly, the first one is to dress for the event. Okay. How many of you are still getting up in the morning and getting dressed to go to work, even if going to work means going to your living room? I do this every day. I work from home, and I've been working from home for a while, and it's why I do it every day. Um, I find that when I'm dressed professionally, it's just easier to be in a work mindset. And that's so true right now. I'm no longer leaving my office during the day like I used to, but I still dress professionally every day. And on the days that I don't, if I have a meeting, you will see me wearing something a little nicer, at least from the waist up, um, than I may have been in the morning. So that's the first trick that you can try. Another trick, and then I've mentioned it before, is when you go to your meeting, take notes. Take notes, not because you can't remember. You're going to take notes to keep your entire brain engaged. I've already talked about this on several occasions. Your brain has a capacity to listen at about 500 words a minute. And even those of us who are fast talkers only talk at about 250 words a minute. So your brain is not fully occupied when it's listening. If you listen and take notes, you will fully occupy your brain on the task at hand, which is paying attention to your chapter members. Here's another good one. Pretend you're at a live meeting. And before you do anything, ask yourself if you would do it at a live meeting. So, would you be driving at a live meeting? No. Don't drive while you're at a BNI meeting online. Would you get up and grab coffee at a live meeting? No. Don't get up and grab coffee while you're on your online BNI meeting. Would you be reading your email? Would you be looking at your phone? No. Don't do it at your online BNI meeting. It's a great question to ask so that not only are you paying more attention, you're also making certain that your credibility is as high as it can. It does nothing for your credibility for you to walk out of the room to grab coffee, even if you can hear. People don't know whether you can hear or not. They don't know how far you went. All they see is that you walked out of the meeting while I was talking. What message are you sending me about the importance of what I'm saying to you, about the value that you have for what I'm saying to you? So again, perception is reality. If I don't see you paying attention, then my assumption is you're not, whether you are or not. So be very aware of the image you are portraying because perception is reality. Uh, so bottom line, right? Oh, one other one. The super important one. I can't believe I almost forgot it. One of the other things that we have learned about being online is that it works, right? It works. We have the numbers globally. You guys have seen them. I'm not going to repeat them. But I will tell you that locally, from January 1 to July 1 of this year, BNI El Paso members generated just over 1,500 referrals that resulted in over $1 million of generated income, $1 million, and thank you for closed business. Think about that for a sec. BNI El Paso members, less than 100 of us, less than 80 of us, generated $1 million, just over $1 million in income for each other while being on lockdown, while being online since March. Okay. That's a monumental task. It's a monumental feat that you all have accomplished. And it's only getting better. Once you get out and shift your mindset from this is temporary, I'm going to wing it temporarily because we're only going to do this a couple of weeks, to no, I've got to be intentional. And I'm going to put in the extra effort required so that I can continue to build my business using referrals. Why do you want to continue building your business referrals when it's so hard? Why? It's hard. Why not just, you know what? Chuck it. I'm going to come back when you guys are back in person because it's more fun, because I love the contact. It's just because it's better, it's easier. Yeah, it is. It is. We've already, it's one of the lessons I've learned. You've probably learned it as well. Think about this. The way people shop has changed. We look around, it has. How many times a day can you go onto your Facebook if you are a Facebook person? How many times a day can you look at your feed and see that people are asking to be referred? Okay, there's a reason for that. People are shopping online. They are looking for the best value for their buck. There is no better way to add value to your product or service than to have you be referred, right? Than to get a referral, than to be that referral. Now, more than ever, do not give up on the system that you use to generate referrals for yourself. That's why we don't quit. That's why we're willing to make the extra effort. That's why it's okay if it's exhausting, right? We're going to be successful in spite of what's happening. Succeed anyway. 2020 is the best example of having a million excuses for not reaching the results you wanted. I challenge you to focus on your results. Be results oriented. So 100% result oriented, zero excuses. Listen, now is a great time for great excuses, right? If you couldn't use these excuses in 2020, when will you be able to use them? However, you still have to put food on the table. You still have a business to run. How many of us can afford to close our businesses? And how many of us are affected by that, right? It's not just that I'm closing my business. Oh, poor Jessica, she had to close her business. My closing my business affects all the employees I have, who now I don't have enough money, and neither do the employees that I may have had to let go of. And so those employees now are not shopping where they used to shop. It's a horrible, horrible trickle-down effect. It is why we care about making sure that every single chapter member is successful. So, bottom line, I've been wrong a lot this year. And I'm sure that you have as well, right? We never saw this coming. And even when we did, maybe this isn't what we were expecting. Maybe we decided that we were going to kind of, excuse my language, half-ass it for this temporary thing. It's not temporary anymore, and there's no excuse, right? You've got to have the discipline to tackle every BNI online meeting with energy and enthusiasm and 100% presence, so that your business does well and the businesses of your team members do well. We're in this together. Keep working. This is not the time to give up. I'm going to leave you with that. And I will come back with more thoughts soon, I'm sure. Have a great day.